Well, the Bloomington City Council is debating whether to allow multiplex housing in residential areas as part of zoning changes to the Unified Development Ordinance. For our city limits coverage, Ethan Burks walked the streets of some of Bloomington's neighborhoods to see what impact these changes could have.
Just south of IU's campus is the Elm Heights neighborhood. It's one of Bloomington's dozen or so residential areas, commonly referred to as the core neighborhoods. It's also the place local resident Jim Rosenbarger has called home for more than 30 years.
In a lot of ways, the neighborhoods are smarter than we are because they have this built-up, embedded pattern.
Rosenbarger is also a local architect who knows Bloomington's housing market. He strongly opposes the proposed changes to the UDO.
When you institute something that's in policy for a neighborhood that is already sliding toward all rental, home buyers, I think, will just be turned off.
One of the most controversial measures being considered is legalizing duplexes in most of the core neighborhoods. Rosenbarger and others against the zoning changes don't want the neighborhoods exposed to more rental turnover or to attract outside investors.
Rental house, Bloomington, Indiana, great markets, known nationally. I mean, that's the kind of thing, student markets, the rents are high. Comes in, says, I'm going to do duplexes, I want 30 houses.
This has been a constant concern throughout the UDO proposal process. People on both sides of the issue agree that Bloomington needs more housing, and much of it should be affordable, but they disagree on where that housing should go.
Our core is the old neighborhoods that really exemplify how our city grew, how we became a city, and so they're very precious.
Sorby believes the neighborhood should be protected, and this change will only make it easier to increase rentals. She says plexes could be the correct approach for creating a more affordable housing market, but placing them in existing residential areas is a problem.
They are not intended to be scattered everywhere. They're intended to be a bridge between single family and a higher, taller building.
Both Sorby and Rosenbarger say a village center development, like the one surrounding the East Hillside Drive and Henderson Street intersection, is a better model.
It makes sense. People who want to live in a higher density area, they're happy to do it for the trade-off of having a coffee shop next door.
Although the city does favor densifying areas with village centers in its comprehensive plan, the potential UDO changes extend well beyond that. In 2019, the same proposal to approve plexes in the core neighborhoods was rejected after strong community opposition.
It's been said elections have consequences and that the city council makeup has changed.
Since that rejection, the city council underwent an election cycle. The voting makeup has changed as it lost members who were against plexes and gained new ones who favor it. But there are also some citizens who agree.
If the number of people who want to live in a neighborhood increases by a certain amount, allowable density should increase by that amount.
These new changes were also supported by the majority of the Plan Commission during deliberations this spring.
The UDO is living and breathing, and we can change this. But if we're going to do it, let's give it our all and see if it works.
But not everyone is convinced that the city can walk this back if it doesn't work.
The way I understand it, from talking to a lawyer, the way it works is if once an investor starts to invest in that direction, they get to keep going. So it seems a little fuzzy about being able to say you can shut it off.
The decision has not been made. The City Council still has time to make last-minute adjustments to the zoning proposal before it will cast its final vote on the measure in the coming weeks. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Burks.
Now, over the course of many public city meetings this spring, it's clear the City Council is divided over adding plexes in the neighborhoods. Amendments protecting certain areas could be coming as the UDO process continues.